New Master Duel Banlist is here, and whatever it is, we're going to have a $1,000 tournament qualifier on twitch.tv/Decade this Sunday, 4 p.m. EST. Now, let's see, what is the tier list looking like? Boom. We have, if we show engines, it gets even bigger. Bam. K9 Engine is taking over the game. Oh my Jesus. Yummy Engine has actually overtaken Dracotail. As I was saying, many people were believing that Vanquisol, Yummy, and Dracotail operate in a rock, paper, scissors meta, where Yummy is supposed to have a good matchup against Vanquisol, Vanquisol is supposed to have a good matchup against Dracotail, and Dracotail is then supposed to be good against Yummy. Now, unfortunately, that's not exactly how things are panning out. Vanquisol is a bit better than the rest at the moment, but things could still mellow out after a few more tournaments and more people figuring stuff out. But that's why Yummy was really not doing too well until Vanquisol's release, giving Yummy that really good matchup. Now, is anything going to get hit here? Vanquisol K9 cannot get touched. They already touched Vanquisol. Yummy is also too new. Now, Dracotail is up to get hit on the ban list. I'm not saying it's scheduled to get hit, but it could finally be allowed to get hit since it's no longer in the selection pack. But if the theory is that this is the perfect 3-deck meta that Konami's been setting up for, and Dracotail's not performing the best or is performing equally as good as Yummy, as you could say, then it's going to be kind of weird to hit Dracotail, right? So I don't know. Maybe they'll do a small hit, Kitu or Rahu, maybe Lucius or Malulu. Now, the Mitsurugi engine not being used in Vanquisol nor Dracotail, and Yummy is the one playing it, but pure Yummy is pretty much doing as well as the Mitsurugi version. I know Reddit complains about Mitsurugi a lot, so maybe that could be a reason they could hit Mitsurugi even though it's not dominating the game. And then here's everything else. Now, let's hop into the ban list. Boom. Now, this should be the final ban list before the upcoming Duelist Cup. All right. Cards to be unlimited. Let's see. Whoa, Snake Eye Poplar. Okay. From 1 to 3. Is this a big deal or what? Let's see. I don't want to be spoiling anything. We have, let's go on over to the TCG and OCG. Now, TCG is not very good to look at because if we type in Snake Eye, the deck is still banned with Original Sinful, which is crazy to think of. I could not believe that. So if we see the last time Poplar did well, wait, November, ooh, without Original Sinful, we have Snake Eye and some Yummy. You know, it's kind of copium all over the place. It's not really doing too well. Now we click on over to OCG. Let's see the OCG stats. And the OCG things are a bit different here as they still have Poplar at 1. I don't want to highlight any other card because it may spoil something. The Snake Eye Ash, ooh, that is, if I remember correctly, still limited to 1 in Master Duel. That would be a huge unhit. Is Poplar alone going to be good enough? When did this do well recently? Back in December. What the heck? Elf Note with Snake Eye. That is crazy. So what I actually want to see with the Snake Eye Poplar is, let's try this. Let's go to Dex. Let's do the filter. We'll type in Snake Eye Poplar. And we'll do 2 or more. So when it was played at 2 or more in the OCG, let's search. So 2 or more, 3. And they had Snake Eye Ash limited to 1 back then. Back in 2024 is what we're looking at, is when Poplar was playable at 2 or more and it actually being played at 2 or more. So at 3, not being played at 2. Another 3. We have at 2 and a Snake Eye Fire King. But it looks like Snake Eye Fiendsmith. We pretty much have this very closely, pretty much full power in Master Duel, right? What don't we have here? The Bonfire is at 2 in this list. We have Bonfire at 1. And as you can see in their extra deck, the Moon of the Closed Heaven is banned. Now, of course, we also don't have Beatrice. We don't have Apollo USA. And Apollo was a big part of Snake Eye. They like to spam the field with a ton of monsters. And I guess the new option that they could be going into, is it worth it for them to get a Bow in? Is a Bow the way? The problem is a Bow is including a Fiend monster. So I guess if, you know, mix this up with a Link 2 Fiend or a Fiendsmith Fiend, and instead of going into Apollo, this may be the way. Or just use the Fiendsmith engine itself to very simply go into a Wave King Caesar, giving you the Nibiru protection and other hand trap protection, where those other hand traps are now cards like Holly Sue, Azuna, and Femina, which just by going into Fiendsmith, you could force them out to go into those plays early. And then I guess after they whip out the Azuna, Femina, or Holly Sue, you could then follow up with Snake Eye afterward. I guess that's the theory. So I don't know. There's a lot of lists where Poplar is played at 3, but we don't have Apollo. So we'll see what happens maybe by this weekend, as we're going to have it fully unlimited in the tournament this Sunday. Now, sorry for popping off this much on a single unlimited. I don't think I've ever done this much, but this was a tier 1 deck. This deck was absolutely the most dominant in Macedon for a very long time. In fact, it was dominant for 2 freaking years pretty much. Now, let's see. What do we have? Pot of Desires. What? This is a Sword Soul card. I remember I think this was hit because of Sword Soul. Why was this ever restricted to 1? What deck got this hit to 1? What the heck? It is definitely going to be enjoyed in Sky Striker, I could tell you that. A True Draco, 100% playing it at 1. Let's switch on over to TCG. We could then see if we scroll on down. Oh, okay. Yeah. 3 in Sky Striker, 3 in Sky Striker, 3 in Sky Striker. Sky Striker is loving this. So let's see that. There we go. Oh, okay. It's kind of across the board, but a lot of the recent Sky Strikers here are playing it at 3. So I guess now in Macedon, enjoy playing Sky Striker with your triple pot of Desires. Now, what about OCG? It is not hit anywhere else. Let's see. Recent OCG decks. Again, Sky Striker. Yup, at 3. Oh my, we're not ready for Phadralis. Ooh, Cool Tune is going to enjoy this at 3. Maybe if Cool Tune's enjoying this at 2 or 3, is this Konami telling us that Cool Tune is on its way? Because we do really want to be looking at Banlist hits as future releases. And if anything, I guess Cool Tune's the deck. I didn't know that Cool Tune liked Pot of D this much, and Konami definitely knows that themselves. Oh boy, yeah, that's a Pot of D deck if I've ever seen one. So maybe Cool Tune's on the horizon. Now, should Cool Tune come out by the very next pack? That seems a bit too soon. This is not even released in the TCG yet. Now, this is a second wave support. If we look at the first wave support, it came out December 2025. Like, boy, I don't know. I feel like we are way off from this even being a possibility, but it's something to cope on. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, Potted Z in any deck. Banish 10 cards, draw 2. All right, let's see. Cards to be limited. Semi-limited, that is. All right. Whoa, Mitsurugi Habakiri. Oh my Jesus. This is limited to 1 in TCG, which is really interesting that it got hit in Macedon before in the OCG, because if we open this up, you may be surprised to see if we go on over to Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta. Let's just go on the tier list here. Boom. OCG. Mitsurugi's the best deck. How is it the best deck? Pure freaking Mitsurugi. So opening this up, the cards that we're going to be getting that makes this the best deck later is going to be the End of the World's Ruler. This card is nuts. It doesn't discard itself. It activates in the hand. It could activate every single turn to banish a Mitsurugi ritual from the deck, and then you could use your Kusanagi to add it back to activate it a second time. And when you summon a monster from the deck with Mitsurugi ritual, you're able to use Ash Blossom on it. But by using End of the World's Ruler to copy the special summon effect of Mitsurugi Ritual, it's not considered on the activation to be specifying that it summons from the deck, thus it's not ashable. And then you could just use the second effect, which already isn't ashable. So this makes Mitsurugi Ritual completely ash-proof. Can't ash it. Now, you could still impulse it because it is designating that it is a special summon effect that we are copying. But otherwise, damn. And what else is good besides this card making the deck a lot more consistent? They're going to have Phadralis, which I've been playtesting randomly on the TCG simulators, even OCG ones. This card is freaking nuts. I would have a Little Knight on field, activate Little Knight, and they just chain this. This will directly chaining to Little Knight, destroy my Little Knight, non-target destroy, and then it sends an additional card. They sent a Herald of Arclight against me, so I was playing in the OCG, not TCG, and then they were able to search for a freaking Mitsurugi play. It was nuts. Otherwise, you could send them along to return a card back. Now, why am I going off on a tangent here? Because this is the future. This is Mitsurugi, where the Habakiri just got semi-freaking limited. They could send Packbit, which in addition, so you may be thinking like, what the heck, send what? What are you talking about? The Phadralis itself will destroy a card on the field in response to you activating a monster on the field. It will then summon itself on the field. It will then, and I don't say then because it's not happening like then. It's all in one freaking effect. It then gets the search or deals with your monster or returns a card back after destroying your monster. And with it on the field, you know what he turned his freaking Phadralis into? He normal summoned a monster, and he turned it into a Psychic and Punisher. So I played against Pure Mitsurugi, and I was quite traumatized by what they did to me. It was crazy what the future is going to be holding for the Mitsurugi deck. I could not. I'm just flabbergasted over this Phadralis card itself. Holy moly. So, you know, Konami taking the initiative to pre-hit the Mitsurugi before it gets too crazy in Master Duel. And that's not even talking about the Dominus Spark, which I didn't have the pleasure to face off against. This will be another card that will be future great support for Mitsurugi, which is a non-target banish a card in the field, right? Let me read that real quick. No, target. It's a target, not non-target. Target one monster the opponent controls, banish it, getting rid of a freaking body. So that's going to be freaking nuts in addition to all the freaking End of Ruler that they're getting. Because of End of Ruler, I mean, unless they want to sell this, they may hit Mitsurugi Ritual in the future before it comes down to Master. I don't know, but let's see the rest of the ban list. All right, so there you go. This is the future of Mitsurugi, all the crazy stuff they're getting, and let's see, what else do we have on this ban list? And so the question is this still going to be good? Well, let me see other hits. If they do anything else to Mitsurugi, we'll talk about that. All right, full changes. That's it? What a tiny freaking ban list. What the heck? Okay. Limited to 1 in TCG. So that's something that's going to be really good to look at here if this will still be good in Master Duel. So let's look on over to Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta. I already have the tab open. Tier list. We have Mitsurugi over here is still a top 6 deck, even with the card being limited to 1. That is insane. So this was the most recent YCS tops here. We could do this, do tier 3 only, and all of these YCS tops with 1 freaking Habakiri. So will it still be good, semi-limited? Of course it will, because even at 1, the deck is still nuts. Good enough to be clapping up YCSs. And as you can see, in addition to this, what else we have? That one too. Yeah, I'll open up this one. You can see that the deck's going to get some future support through, first, since the deck plays Mitsurugi Prayers, what is that? It's a quick play spell. And then there's generic quick play spell support through Radiant Typhoon Vision, which Sky Striker's even enjoying this. This is going to be able to draw 2 cards, then you could discard a quick play spell. And then in addition to that, it looks like Mitsurugi's enjoying this, but a ton of decks are enjoying the Fallen and the Virtuous, being able to target any face-up card in the field, destroy it, and then you get to set another copy during the end phase because you're going to send an Albion. Then on their turn, you could send the Ecclesia, and then on your turn, the Ecclesia. So like, just let's map this out. Our turn, we pop a face-up. Their turn, we pop a face-up. And then our turn again, we will use this effect to shuffle a card on the field back in the deck. That is all from activating 1 copy of this card on your turn. It then gives you that double follow-up play into another pop, into another shuffle. So some other stuff to be looking forward to in the future here. And we actually had a crazy Mitsurugi deck recently. Look at the top decks page. You should really be checking out the rating duels every once in a while. We are keeping this up to date with some mad lads. And right here, what is this? This is a Mitsurugi first turn kill deck. That's right. So if you look at this deck list, what is different about the main deck? It just has this 1 card. So to first turn kill, you add a single 1 brick to your main deck. But then if we look at the extra deck, that's where all the sauce is at. And by the way, he did submit it with 14 cards, and the first turn kill is still within this extra deck. So let's count the cards needed for the first turn kill in addition to your brick. We have the 1 Raid Raptor, the 1 Raider Knight, we have the Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon, we have the Gimmick Puppet Fantastics, then we have the C-107, and then we have the Gimmick Puppet Giant Hunter. In addition, we have the Chaos version of Fanatics, and that is it. That's the entire first turn kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in the extra deck, plus 1 card in the main deck, and you have a first turn kill. And what is the first turn kill? All you have to do, you may be thinking like, oh, like swarm like 3 to 4 level 8s on the field and then rank 8 exceeds like crazy. Nope. You only have to perform one rank 8 exceeds and 1 rank 4 exceeds. 1 rank 4, 1 rank 8 is a full first turn kill mate. And the combo is with just 1 Habakiri. 1. You don't need any other. You don't even need a card to normal summon. No other card needed. 1 Habakiri is going to be 9,000 damage. As Pickles here is showcasing the first turn kill line for this follows. You could read this yourself. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You're going to burn for 4,500 damage twice by summoning this onto the opponent's side of the field. You're going to burn once with the Fiend Eagle for 4,500, and then you're going to do the final 4,500 burn with the Giant Hunter. And you're also, while doing this first turn kill, you're activating this effect. You detach an Xyz material until the end of this turn, negate the effects of all other face-up cards currently on the field, which there'll be no other cards in the field from the opponent to negate. And by the way, you could still activate this even if you have no other card in the field to negate, because it also makes it so your opponent cannot activate cards or effects on the field. No impulse, no impermanence. If they were to have waited on those card effects, then it will be too late to be making those plays. So I do plan on playing this deck for fun. Boy, this is disgusting. I cannot believe that something like this even exists. And, well, even with the Habakiri to 2, I think this deck is still going to be great. What are some other comments here? No wonder Habakiri getting it. We already got... By the way, if you're having a Discord avatar bug here, I think all you have to do is log out, log back in, and it's supposed to fix it. Otherwise, I'm going to talk to the developer to fix that. And what else to really say here? Now, okay, whoa. There's a lot more to say. Kind of. Mitsurugi in the TCG. Now, there's something to talk about. Let's click on TCG. Let's type in Yummy, and you'll see that they're not playing Mitsurugi with Yummy anymore. Even though Yummy with Mitsurugi is a great freaking deck, what is going on here? So you may be thinking the Habakiri limited to 1 is why they're not playing it. So you could think that pure Mitsurugi is fine with the semi-limit or limited to 1, but now teching in Habakiri into other decks is not going to be so good. Well, that's not the reason why it's not being played. There is a different reason for why you're not seeing Mitsurugi outside of pure Mitsurugi. And the real reason for it is because Konami and the TCG, they're banning the bridges. Any way to bridge to your Mitsurugi has been banned. Well, the 2 main ways. Herald of the Arc Light, banned. So in Master Duel, summoning the Herald of Arc Light, getting into the graveyard is still going to be immensely viable. It's going to be great. You're going to be wanting to play this still. And then the other way is Feral Imps. 2 level 4 monsters, any 2 level 4 will then search for your Habakiri, also banned only in the TCG. So Konami and TCG didn't think it was enough to ban the bridges. They also had to limit the Habakiri to 1, and you still have Mitsurugi being played, but of course only as a pure deck. Now, should you be playing Mitsurugi yourself in this meta? I would say that Murakumo is really good against Vanquish Soul, even though they could get Destruction Protection, because a key point of interaction with Vanquish Soul K9 is the Force Release. This is pretty much a double disruption. It's a non-target pop, and they get to also look at your hand and banish a card, which is nuts. by being able to whip out a Murakumo, you completely mess this up. They're going to have to use this early or suboptimally. And, you know, they will at least use it early to look at your hand and banish. That's one thing. And then all the other, they may have a Nash Knight. They're not going to be able to stop you from wiping their field. They don't have an Omni Negate. So Murakumo's still good there. And I don't think that Habakiri going semi-limited is going to be reason enough to drop playing this if you're already playing Mitsurugi Yami, especially to have that good matchup against Vanquish Soul. And then against Yami, it's also really good being able, because they love jumping off the field. And, oh, what about Herald of Arc Light? This is not a problem. As long as you're not dependent on your initial interaction with getting your Mitsurugi to trigger, let's say, this negates your Mitsurugi ritual, or this negates your Habakiri, and then you have no other way to get to Murakumo. All right, yes, they then stopped you. But if you could get the Murakumo onto the field, this will not stop the Murakumo, because you're very likely going to chain link block that Murakumo like nothing. And then all of these synchros that jump off the field, the link that synchros in response to something, want to deal with them, they're going to have nowhere to go. They're going to get completely wiped out. Murakumo is great against that. Now, Murakumo, I don't think is good against Draco Tail. So that's the key thing here, where we have the big three decks, Vanquish Soul, Yami, and Draco Tail. It's good against 2 out of the 3, but not good against Draco Tail. And also, I think Odeon's recently been trending. If you're looking for a simple deck to clap it up, a lot of people on rating duels, and we do have a tournament to be submitted soon where it just won an Asian tournament. Let's see some recent tops here. It's just off the top of my mind here. This is really trending. So, you know, that is the list here. It says trending. Boy, is Odeon going up, up, up. I possibly would be expecting it upcoming in the Sunday tournament this week with how prevalent I've been seeing it doing well in rating duels. So definitely look to play this deck yourself. Now, the problem is, you see the 20 UR craft required? Yeah. These cards aren't in the selection pack anymore. That's a big issue. So if you are freshly trying to build Odeon, you're going to start from scratch having to craft all this. Now, a lot of the action deck cards you don't have to craft here. It looks like they're playing for Super Poly and that 5-headed Link Dragon. I don't even know what the heck that is. But the Man with the Mark and the Divine Serpent Apophis, those are going to be the issues that I guess make this deck more expensive. Otherwise, it's not that big of a deal. You do definitely want to play Purge, I'd say. In this deck, it's, 8% are still not playing it. If you really want to, on a budget, you can type in Purge and then not playing Purge. And then you'll still have a decent enough deck. Now, enough of going off on that tangent and the meta overall. Let's see what's good. You know, this make me think that beyond Banlist videos, maybe I should do more regular meta update videos where I just talk about the meta and upcoming stuff, because I feel like I had a lot more I wanted to say. I just don't want to be drawing out this video because I want to be focusing on the ban list here. Let's see the comments. How will Mitsurugi players recover? They'll be fine. He's of course joking. Mind you that it's just a pre-Duelist Cup ban list. Yep, the Duelist Cup is coming and we get to see the big 3 face off in the Duelist Cup. Poplar to 3 is crazy. I don't think it's going to break it into, you know, the top 3 or top 4. I don't know. Maybe a tier 3 deck. I just don't. Poplar had its time. Master Duel devs really love Snake Eyes for some reason. They do. Snake Eye has been prevalent and relevant for a very long time since the Poplar release, and only recently did it fall off from all the hits. And now they're regret. They're like, no, sorry, come back to me. Let's see. Habakiri 2 is much better than most people realize. The real issue is pre-prep being at 3 still. Yeah, that is a big thing that makes the deck still immensely consistent. Another thing that makes the deck consistent, we can click on Mitsurugi Engine, Pure Mitsurugi here. Having their normal summon to be a Lamia, to be an Aramasa, to be the any of the Ritual Searcher monsters. The Manju is one that could make the deck more consistent, especially for the Pure version. And then pre-prep being a big one. This card did get limited 1 in OCG due to how powerful it is. It is crazy good. So that's it for the ban list. I'll see you in the next video or on twitch.tv/Decade this Sunday, as we will have the ban list fully implemented, including Poplar Unlimited for the event. I'll see you there. Thank you. Let's go.